प्रीतात्मा की जय। भक्तजन स्वागत। Namaste, seated devotees. A special welcome to each and everyone tonight as we join the sing family in praise and thanks to Bhagavan Sri Krishna. My deepest condolences once again as we have lost a mother, a wife, a daughter, a good friend, and a devotee. We ask Lord Rishi tonight to bless our Atma as we join in the second month of Satsang, glorification to Prabhu for the welfare of that Atma. Tonight, let us all join in a beautiful prayer. Vasudevasudam Devam Kamsacharamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagat Guru Shantakaram Bhujagasham Paramanabham Sreshtam Vishwanaram Gaganasarishtam Miravaram Sasaram Lakshmi-kantam Kamala-nayanam Yogi-bhedyadim-gamayam Vande Vishnu Bhava-bhayahrenam Tonight, we surrender to none other than Param Atma. As we ask of Eden to come light the deer, and then you can come. Light the deer, it is said in Shri Guru Puran, the Atma faces darkness. And as we offer this light unto Bhagavan Sri Hari, we ask that Atma, this light will shed through that pathway from the Atma as the Atma travels, make the way to Param Atma. Namaste astu Mahamaye Prayer Sur Pujate Shankar Chakra Dharana Lakshmi Namaste Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Mantramurti Sadadevi Mahalakshmi Namaste Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Gadvachana Mangalaya Prandaki Kaksha Mangalaya Tadohari Varinanam Marita Sansanam Rasanam Chandra Samapi Mangalanam Chakartaro Vanu Vani Vinaya राधा विश्वस्वरूपिणा या ब्रह्मिणा न प्रशान्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तमेश्वर वन्दे गौर्यमनित्यं गुरो शङ्कररूपिणा यमाश्रितो देवकृपे चन्द्रा सर्वात्रावन्ते सीता वन्दे विष्णु विज्ञान Tonight, we begin the beautiful Ramayana Singh. Jisu mera सीधी हो begin. As we glorify Shri Hanumanji, as we glorify singing the 40 golden verses of Shri Hanuman, shall we sing? Sri Guru Charan Saroj Nij Mana Mukta Sudar Bharino Raghubar Bhiman Jaso Jonai Palcha Budnayin Tanujan Sumiro Pavan Kumar Balapuri Vidyadhir Moye Hara Ukdev Sarvika Siyapati Ramachandra Jai Jai Sharanam Jai Hanuman Jai Hanuman Jai Hanuman Jai Hanuman Jai Hanuman Gyan Guru Sagar Jai This explains very beautifully, devotees. Whenever we are about to glorify Bhagwan Sri Ram, it is said Hanumanji, he sits in the midst of all of us. And we have rendered a beautiful 40 golden verses of Sri Hanuman Chalisa. This afternoon we remember the life of our dear sister, Sherry. And Bhagwan Sri Krishna has called unto that Atma of hers. Tonight we shall be joining in the Ramayana Katha taken from Ayodhya Kand, where Bharat have conducted the Antishti Samskar for his beloved father. But at this present time, let us think of that Atma as we can only celebrate the memories of that person tonight. Let us thank the Lord for her life, thank the Lord for her Atma, and may that Atma return to Param Atma. Paramananda ka anubhava karatu, Paramananda ka anubhava karatu, Hanya Bharana जीवन ज्योति देवी परमात्मा ऐसे आत्मा मेरा आत्मा मुझ जो परम आत्मा ज्योति बिने Mantra here. Ida, of all the mantras, when we surrender to the Lord, it is the greatest prayer we can offer to the Lord. Jyoti bindu ke premi sindu My kata is taken from Ramjug. It is said devotees Mahadashara could not live without Bhagwan Sri Ram. When there are errors in life, it is a bit difficult to come to terms and to understand. But it is said devotees, death is part of life, as Sri Bhagavad Gita tells us. When Mahadashara could not live without Ram, Ram kahiye, Ram kahiye. It is said the Atma of Mahadashara left his body. And so, we listen to the beautiful Katha. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. 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 Raghupati Rama, Raghupati In this beautiful katha, when Mahadashratha passed away, devotees, Sri Bhagavad Gita tells us, once we take human birth, we must depart from this world. Death is all part of life, devotees. But when death occurs in our lives, it's a bit hard to come to terms. It's a bit funny. We accept birth and we never accept death. When a child is born into this world, we accept that, Danny, right? But when someone dies, it's so hard to accept that. However, Bhagwan Sri Krishna tells us, If you are not certain about anything in this life, devotees, we are certain for one thing, which is called death. It's all part of life. Sometimes we may think Bhagwan has cheated us time. Sometimes we may think that why a young person? But the day we are born, a day was written for us to return, devotees. The only thing, Danny, we don't know when and which day will stand before us. And that is why I often tell devotees, enjoy and appreciate every day and live today like if it's the last day you're living. We listen, when Mahadasharat could not live without Bhagwan Ram, his Atma left his body. And the moment the Atma left the body, his Guru, by the name of Vishtra Muni, he placed the body, he filled that box with oil and he placed the body. Long ago, they used to keep the body in an ice box. In Mahadasharat time, it is said, they placed the body in a box with full oil, devotees. Let us hear what takes place as Goswami Tulsidas tells us in Ramayana Katha. Syapati Ramchandra ki
what can help us at that time? Nothing in this world can help us when Bhagavan stands before devotee. It is only the name of Bhagavan Ram, the name of Krishna, only the name of the Lord can be the both and both man of our lives.
Listen very beautifully, devotees. When Mahadashratha passed away, Bhagwan Ram was exiled in forest, devotees. It is said Lakshman together with Sita, they all went along with Sri Ram. Mahadashratha, devotees, could not live without Ram. In his final breath he took Ram, Ram, Kahi Ram, Kahi Ram. And that is what we need to practice, devotees. Thinking of Bhagwan at the final moment of life. Jai Stamaya. But can we remember God at the final moment? I think we were worried about the children and mama. We were worried about who will do this and who will do that. It is said in Garuda Purana, devotees, Shri Bhagavad Gita, at the final moment, if we think of Bhagwan, if we think of none other than that Lord, devotees, that we can return to Paramatma, devotees. Everything we do, devotees, it is to help us. Antakali chamameva smarana mukta kalarevan Yao prahyate sarmadha bhava. He said, he who departs from this body thinking of me alone, even at the time of death. He said, abandon all path. Sarva dharma pare yaj. He said, man ekam sharana varaja. He said, abandon all paths and come to me as the only refuge. Who can help us when death stands before us, devotees? Anybody? Mother, father, doctors, pundits. No one can help us at that time, devotees. That's why Garuda Purana chapter 16 says, abandon this world that we live in, because we live in a world of misery. But it's a blessed opportunity. He says in Garuda Purana chapter 16, of the 8.4 million species, the human birth is the highest. Danny? The Garuda Purana explains a house again, a motorcar again, a rice field again, good and bad actions again, a human body never again. We may never ever get the opportunity of a human body. And do you know that it is only through that human body your Atma can merge the Paramatma? You already entered so much different species. But think about what you could do. And whenever I conduct a funeral, we look at sunrise and sunset. Which one is most important? Auntie Sita? Auntie, which one is important? Sunrise or sunset? Sunrise. Sunrise? Why sunrise? Sunrise, sunset is important. What is most important with sunrise and sunset is the dash between death and birth. Danny, what you and I have done with the opportunity, Bhagwan will grant us. Chitra Gupta records all our actions. And one day we have to give account for our actions. Everything that takes place in one's life, we must stand one day before the Lord for judgment, devotees. We think that when life occurs and we live our life, when death takes place, it's not the end of the journey, devotees. It's just the beginning of the journey to reach Paramatma. So when someone passed away, Garuda Purana explains how big the Atma becomes. Anyone? Big as a thumb. Just to refresh, and I know it's not something we want to remember, but it is nice to understand what takes place and what is important. Because Bharat, in our Katha tonight, but Bharat was very confused. And Bharat, he thought, well, he's the wrong person to perform the Antishti Samskar for his father. And so this is where Mother Kausalya is explaining and comforting Bharat. And she's saying, Bharat, why are you speaking such words? Because he's saying he's not worthy of doing his father's rights. He believes Ram. But remember, when Bhagwan Shri Ram was exiled, he could not enter any city for 14 years, devotees. And so it was comforted by his mother, devotees. She said to Bharat, let us hear, as a beautiful Chaupai tells us. Jai Ram Sri Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Sri Ram Jaya Ram, Jaya Jaya Ram, Ram तुम्हारा रघुपति प्राण होते प्यारे विधि को विशाख सियावर रामचंद्र के जय। Goswami Tulsidas tells us, Mother Kausalya said to Bharat that Ram is dearer to you than his own life, and dearer than life are you to be Raghunath. It is said, devotees, when we lose someone, we need comfort. And the scriptures grant us and brings comfort to our life and understanding the importance of the 16th samskar in one's life. The Antishti samskar becomes the last. And when someone passed away and the Atma leaves the body, becomes big as a thumb, it is said, devotees, we like the deer facing the southern direction, because it is said at that time the Atma becomes very confused. Remember, the body is no longer, and neither the Atma is attached to the body. So this Atma is very confused at that time. And performing the Antishti Samskar, it is said here, Mahadasharath's body was kept, and so it is said, by the Guru's blessing, he is saying, Bharat, take courage, dear son, he said, and do what the occasion demands today. Because Bharat was confused, who should do the Antishti Samskar? And we believe a son can do it. It is said, Garupuran, a son, a grandson, a wife can do it for a husband, a friend can do it for you. It is said even your Pundit or your Guru can conduct your Antishti Samskar for you. In America today, we are seeing where we have to use daughters because there is no one to get it done. I know it's not a common practice, But Guru Puran tells us devotees finally, to get it done, it must be done. And if we have no one else to use, what we'll do? Leave the body? Don't do the Antishti Samskar? No devotees, it must be done. I did a viewing a few weeks ago, Wednesday, and the devotee told me that, Baba, we're going to take the body to Guyana. I said, okay. And she said, Pundit, it is advised that I can just do 1 day of a Gita. And I said, Beti, there is no way in Guru Puran explains that this could be done in 1 day. I explained because it is written from Guru Puran, and today's practice, there are many asking to do it in 1 day time, devotees. How that is possible? It is said, devotees, disposing of the body, it is said, Bharat have bathed that body, took care, bathing, preparing the body for final rites, devotees. And the same way we have conducted our Antishti Samskar by the Pundit reciting the mantras. And just remember, for the 10 days, and when the body or the Atma left the body, it is said we just we suspend certain worship. And that is why there are certain mantras are not required when we do a funeral. We use Lord Krishna mantras, we use Lord Vishnu mantras, devotees. So yes, someone did ask me, Pundit, tell me if I can do it in 1 day time. And I said, no, it's not possible. Why? Because I will tell you. माने हमको प्यार किया Who can love a son as much as a mother? When a son is born in this world, his mother carried him for 9 months. Now many His son devotee is sharing whatever she placed in her mouth. She shared half of it to you. And to your sister. And so devotees, 9 months she took us in her own belly, devotees. And why today? If she could take us and brought us in this world, taken us around 9 months, and for many years she protected us, why one day we want to give her everything? Matra putra se pyar kiya ye jitna
She's a singer, lullaby, waiting for the bed. She's a singer, sisters in the and never comes in her eyes. Till we go to bed. And we reach the age of even getting married one day, we must never, ever relinquish the love or mother's devotion.
It is said, devotee, it is not possible to do everything in one day. Please don't let people tell you you can do it. Do not start practicing doing the wrong things, devotees. In tonight's katha, here Bhagwan, it is said Bharat is conducting the Antishti Samskar. He preparing his father's body. Bharat, it is said, devotees, he have asked of all the sages to bring the sandalwood, aloes, countless types of herbs to build a pyre, devotees, at the bank of the river to place his father's body. And that is why when you look at the day of the funeral, we put the sandalwood in the mouth. We put the gold. Why do we put gold in the eyelids, the nostril of the mouth? Do you know why? It is said that there are 9 gateways of the body the Atma can leave. And there are 7 upper and 2. That's why both the nostril, the ears, the both eyes, and the mouth. Sona purifies the area that the Atma have left. And if someone passed away and the mouth remained open and the eyes, that is a blessing. Sri Garu Puran tells us that when the Atma lives in the upper part of the body, that is a blessing. That's why sometimes blood comes out the ear or the nose or the mouth. That means the Atma have left. It is also said in Garu Puran that when the Atma flickers from the throat. And if you put tulsi by the lip or drink shaligram water, that's why when you conduct a puja, when you offer the panch armit, what do you bathe with the panch armit? The shaligram. In every puja, there's a black stone that where the Pandits offer unto the shaligram. Om Panchamritam Maya Nitram Payot Dehi Kritam Madhu Shankara Shaligram, and offer the Panchamrit on the shaligram. And then after you bathe the shaligram, you pour some back into the glass. What does it call? What do you call it now? Sharanamrit, because Shara means feet in Sanskrit. And that's why every puja, when you attend and you offer, and you must bathe the shaligram stone, how blessed you are to partake of the Sharan Amrit, because devotees, none of us knows what tomorrow brings or who turn is next. Prepare yourselves, devotees. So these are things can be done, devotees. And so Bharat have prepared that fire. You will recognize, even in back home, we used to put the gobar. You know what's gobar? You know what's gobar? I'm going to take you to Trinidad next time I go in. And carry and take you a nice gobar bath. You're paying for that now, understand? I remember a few years ago somebody said they're going to take a gobar bath. I said, so why you paying for that? He said, Pundit, the man tell them $200. I said, boy, you don't pay $200. I could bring some gobar for you and mix you and video with it, you know? The cattle dung, the cattle poop them. You know? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know the cow? Or the cow poop them. They're like, wow, what's Baba saying? So when you're doing puja, we say Gauri Mata, you know, that over back home, you put a little mountain that represents Gauri Mata. Unfortunately, in America, we don't get it. I think you get it to buy in a dry. But that's why we put a little cow that represents Pitravi Mata or Dirty Mata. Nice? So it is said, back home in Trinidad and Guyana, you got to leap in the area that to place the coffin and put the kush grass and the black to do. You know why? In Garu Puran says, whenever you are to perform a spiritual act or you're inviting the devatas, there are no negative energy could come and be there when you place the gohar. That's why it's repeated Bedi also too. That's why we perform the Antishi Sanskar over the gohar devotees. And so it continues that way. On that day we'll bathe the body and break the mala and split, you know. And there's a question. Everybody say, Pundit, but why are you worshipping a dead body? Sure, Daddy, I'm sure you probably heard that probably once. People say, but why are you doing arati to a dead body which is of no use? Which I do agree, but you have to remember, in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan speaks about the 5 elements. And the human body is comprises of the 5 elements. You're not worshipping the dead person on that day, but what you are doing, you're honoring the 5 elements. And you're praying that we worship this body in a sense that we are asking Bhagavan Vishnu to allow the 5 elements to go back to its respectful places. That is the whole idea of doing and preparing the body, devotee. Just like our katha tonight, where Bharat have bathed his father, put flowers, aloes, all these different herbs under the body of his Mahadashnath. And so it is said, devotees, we recognize that certain pindas was performed also too. The pindas that you will see placed, it's called impure pindas also too. The pindas was really placed to protect the body. Because you remember, the body becomes an empty vessel at that time. The Atma is not attached. So to prevent the Atma from getting back or any other entity to enter the vessel, you're protecting it with the pindas. And if it is Panchak Mama, what do? A Panchak Shanti. That's where we made the little dolls and stuff, and birth counsel that is being prescribed when someone passed away in a bad timing. So all this was done, devotees. It is to allow the 5 elements to go back to its respectful places. And that is why we prepare the body. And I recognized many times devotees say, Pundit, can I put anything in the body? I don't have a problem in putting a glasses, a clothing, or whatever garment. But there are many occasions that where people ask me, Baba, can I put a pack of cigarette? Can I put a coke? I saw you put, Danny, I'm telling you, a pack of Quicks. So I asked the question, why are you putting this in the body? I'm sure you saw this or you heard this already. Devotees, we have to understand, no, you can't. Why? Remember, this is the last offering to Lord Vishnu, the body that is going to place in the fire. Now the fire is not the regular Agni that you perform your puja or your havan at home. It is called the Kadava Agni, which is the flesh-eating Agni. And that's a different form of the Agni. On that day, we are invoking to burn and to eat the flesh and allow the 5 elements. And that is why we put the gugul, the ghee, and the samagri on the body. That becomes the last offering to Lord Vishnu. And that is why you cannot put as you want into the body. I saw in back home in Trinidad, I see where the DJ, I was doing a funeral, and when I finished and I concluded I'm ready to go to Karani, I heard they put on the Rasika, chutney. So I was like, what's going on? Why are you playing that? So the devotee said, Baba, that is what he liked. I said, listen to me. If you go and that person could tell you now they're enjoying it, leave it on. Just like I tell a person, I told them, if the person could partake of the biscuit and drink the Coke, leave it, and if they can't, please take it out. Don't get me wrong. My point is, you cannot give the dead anything. You have to come to terms. This is not our sherry that is laying on a box there anymore. This is nothing to us. Garuda Puran explains, the Atma doesn't take a gender, it's neither male or female. The Atma is everlasting. This Atma is nothing to us. But for this year, we will acknowledge by taking the name of her. That's why we're Amuka Grotas, Amuka Pretas, you're taking a name and doing the offerings, because a name was given to her, just like it was given to all of us, to identify who we are. Because I can't call her a boy or a girl. So that is why we use the name devotees, only to identify. Even in Ramayana it is said, devotees, that when Tara, I don't know if you can remember, the Katabe body was shot by Bhagwan Sri Ram. And when Bali was shot and his Atma was about to leave, Tara was crying and holding on. And Hanumanji looked, he said, Tara, tell me why you're holding on to that body. He said, Tara, the same body you're holding on to, what do you think she'll happen? What do you think will happen after? A few hours from holding on to the body. Bobby? It was at a rot. So the body we holding on and want to cry, that same body we go run from. You know why? It's had to smell, it's had to decay. So you see, devotees, Hanumanji was explaining very beautifully, it's of no use holding on to something doesn't worth holding on to. And so Bhagwan tells us very beautifully, devotees, the importance of what is to be done, what must be done, and also what can be done to help the Atma. And so Mahadashrath devotees, when he passed away, Bharat have conducted such beautiful ceremony, Antishti Sanskar, as Goswami Tulsidas wrote for us to understand the importance. That is why it is said, devotees, when somebody is alive, when a child is born, what do we do? What do we do? Danny? We celebrate. Kabira जब हम परे जगत से हम रोए ऐसे करने हम चलो हम हंसे जगत भजन when a child is born, Kabirdas says, that is the time we're supposed to pull the child and cry. None of us know what karma the child is going to face. But when so the child is saying, Kabirdas says, when I was born, you was laughing. I remember Hadi Sadhu Bahari and Bahashi, and put the child in the soup. And drag the child, mama, and you beat the baby a little bit to the bottom, you know, so the baby will cry. So the child is saying, when I was born, you laughing and celebrating, and I was crying. And the same soul is saying, now when I am going back, you crying and I'm laughing.
Only the name of Ram, in a sense, only Bhagwan Ram can help us. No one can help us when the Atma is making its way to Paramatma.
And so devotees, it is said, placing the body in the fire, the pyre, we pray, Ananya now deva shanka chakragara Akshaya pundraki kaksha prita moksha pradubhava. That mantra simply means, may the Atma attain liberation. And so, when we dispose of the body, devotees, after that ceremony, you will go to the and offer kush grass, right at the side, at the same side, devotees. Why? It is said that to allow the 5 elements to go and to return safely. Also, it is said, devotees. So why do we offer the kush grass? Where did the kush grass came from? Anyone?
The sweat of Lord Vishnu.
From the hair of Lord Vishnu. We offer the Tilanjali, devotees. And why do we not the kush grass? Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva resides on the kush grass. We offer to the southern direction, devotees, because Yamraj rules the southern direction. But do you know which direction you're supposed to go to, devotees, or the Atma is supposed to go? God bless us not to go south. If I'm to ask a question, who do you think does come for the Atma? Oh yeah? Yamraj? Shri Garu Puran says Yamraj only comes for sinners. God again bless us to ensure that Yamraj never comes for your soul. Bhagwan Krishna bless us with this beautiful opportunity to do what is necessary, devotees, so Krishna and Vishnu will come for your Atma. Do you know the importance of a tulsi plant in your home? When I came, I smiled just like Hanumanji. I remember when Hanumanji went in Lanka and he saw Vibhishana for the first time. He jumped with joy because when he saw the fresh tulsi leaves, it is said, devotees, he jumped for joy. When I came and I saw the tulsi plant, I smiled. You know, the tulsi was, you know, the first thing I entered, I came and I saw the tulsi, I smiled. You know why? It is said the importance of a tulsi plant in your home is never for Yamraj to come to your home. I'm not saying Yamraj or God and death ain't gonna come for you, you know. So don't say Baba said, you know, death will come but not in the form of Yamraj. It is said, devotees, in the form of Vishnu or Krishna can come for the Atma, devotees. And darling, not south, but we can go to the eastern side, the western direction, or the northern direction. Southern direction is where Yamraj, and we do not want to go to Yamraj. So God again bless us with the opportunity to do what is necessary and to pave the way so that when that day stand before us with open hands, the Lord will take us. And so it is said, the diya continues lighting for the next 10 days. And there is something called the Dasgrati, devotees. On the second day, we offer 2 pindas in front of the kush grass. Why? The first day of the funeral considered to be the first day, and you did not get to offer pinda in front of the kush grass on the day of the funeral. So on the second day of the funeral, first to begin with, in back home in Trinidad, or probably Guyana also, we used to leave the home and go and pick up the ashes, right? In Shri Garu Puran, it is explained, you got to find 5 bones. If you don't, 5 pieces of ashes, coals. Wash it with a dye or a hardy. Place it in the kamandal with black dill, milk, tulsi, flowers, and offer it in the water, devotees. Shri Garu Puran tells us that is one way the Atma can attain liberation. Because in the Ramayana, if you listen to previous kathas, the lineage of Bhagwan Sri Ram could have never attained liberation. But it's only when Bhagirath brought the Ganges from the head of the Jata of Lord Shiva and the ashes was touched by the Ganges, then all his ancestors was able to emerge to Paramatma. That's the importance of offering. Why I'm explaining, I recognize in America again, everybody keeps the ashes in the house, which we're not supposed to. We're supposed to get rid of it. In Hinduism, we practice that the moment the person passed away, do you know faster you get rid of the body, faster the Atmas begins and receives offerings. But today, because of the time and we gotta sit in time and America's not like back home, And even back home I saw where some of them will keep the body and have a whole week. It's not appropriate, devotees. That's why in the Muslim faith, the moment the person passed away, by the same day they might do the funeral rites. And that's a proper practice. Again, if you look at the Muslim faith also, I'm bringing because sometimes we say the body, when the person passed away, we address the body with a pagri. We dress the body like if they're going to get married. That's not appropriate also. That is an antishti samskar. When you dress somebody with a pagri and dress them with again married, that's a viva samskar. But you see, we do things to please what we think is right for our minds. Because we feel by giving this to them, it pleases not them, but our minds. I'm trying to bring this clear with you all, because I'm seeing it happening. We are seeing where we are changing our practice, devotees. Really and truly, you're supposed to just wrap the body with white cotton, very clean, and place the body in the pile. I once, a devotee told me, Pundit, I spent 5,000 to put mommy in a nice clothing. You know what I asked her? I said, Betty, when last you take mommy to buy her outfit or clothes? Never. Didn't have the time. Busy. But you see, devotees, again, we do things to please our mind, devotees. We do things so that brings comfort to our mind, to ourselves, but really and truly it's not important. Because there's a beautiful bhajan tells us, devotees.
मैं तू बंदे गया wanted to mother father, how can you offer to the push grass to them? When we live in, we are not able to get a mouthful of food. When we die, we get to carry like we and we coming from. Mata Pita If I'm to sing this bhajan, I could do a whole complete kata 3 or 4 times with the same kata. The meaning of the bhajan devotees, main dhan kiya, main jat kiya, we give dan and donation. Sometimes mother and father wants, sometimes we can't even get it from them. Ganga, Nahari, Hardi, Hardwa, Kashi. Some people want to go to India to touch the holy Ganges. You know, we say when we touch the Ganges, what happens? We say we purify the soul. Only good water and soap does wash your body, devotees. We see when you touch the feet of your parents, that is when you cleanses your soul, devotees. Mata Pita ke charano dhan hai, aja aja hai mukti ke dhan. Mata Pita ke seva nahi. It's never too late, devotees. The only time it is late really and truly is when we perform Antishti Samskar, because they are not there to receive anything. And like I said before, we cannot give the dead person anything. So what we are doing presently is praying to Bhagwan Sri Hari. This is what Bharat is doing for his father. Bharat is conducting his Antishti Samskar to help Dasharatha devotees. And so it is said, for the 10 days, it is said here in our Ramayana tonight, that where the funeral rites was observed by the bathing of the body and offering, it is said, devotees respect to the body, performing the Antishti Samskar. Let us hear in this beautiful chaupai what takes place at Goswami Krishna's. Tonight, devotees, what we do for ourselves. Our prayer will help that Atma. But remember, even when we leave tonight, none of us know who serves is negative. Sing with me tonight.
So it is said, devotees, Bharat have performed the Antishti Samskar for his beloved father. Also it is explained, Goswami Tulsidas tells us, offering the handfuls of water mixed with the sesame seed. So you see, in Ramayana tonight is explaining that when the Tilanjali was offered on top of the kush grass. Why? Where did the black tail came from now, devotees? Come on. You have 3 types of tilly. Black tail, Danny, name one. White tail and Danny, we got yellow man. Come on. Alright, close. Brown.
From you, right?
Yes, I saw you.
Brown tail.
Well, it was yellow.
I will open the yellow because it's close to brown, right? Danny said brown, right? So black tail, white tail, and brown tail is written in Garuda Puran. Again, why? Why do you, and please, do you understand, do you know you don't only have to offer the black tail, you can offer the white tail and brown tail also. Do you know why you offer the 3 types of tilly? How can you sin your soul? There are 3 ways Garuda Puran says someone sin his soul. You can sin your soul by your action, by your speech, and by your your thoughts. Say, Danny, boy, if you hit them, and we want to hit them or we think about it, we still sin every soul. So the Garuda Puran explains that when you offer black tail, white tail, brown tail, it eliminates the sin that the person have committed while they are alive, which we accumulate while we live in here. The kush grass is nothing because Lord Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva resides on the kush grass. And yes, Danny, we face the southern direction. Why? Because you and I don't know at that time where the Atma is going. That's the difference. So it is prescribed to focus on the southern direction so that we concentrate upon Yamraj. If the Atma is to go to the southern direction, it helps the Atma when it reaches and goes to the southern direction. But you know what Bhagwan Ram says in Katha? Danny, why wait for someone to take their hands to offer on behalf of you when I give you 2 hands to do it for yourself? God give us the ability to do everything for ourselves so that nobody needs to do anything for us. But at the day of the funeral, if I'm to ask you, Dan, you and I cannot, and we don't know where the soul is going. So by the guidance of our scriptures, and even in the Ramayana, where Bharat have conducted the Antishti Samskar for Mahadashrath, it is explained how we face the southern direction and perform the Antishti Samskar. And so it is said that we offer pindas, devotees. And do you know why we offer pindas? The pindas are very important. It is said here in Garuda Puran chapter 1. He says here, the pindas should be offered per day. That is how the Atma sustained. You have to remember one thing in chapter 16, Garuda Puran, listen. The Atma left the body, but the Atma cannot function without a body. It's like the television. It's not able to function without electricity. So here, chapter 16 says, from Garuda Puran, the Atma is not able to function without a body, and the body is not able to function without it. Together, it works together, must combine together. How are we going to give the Atma that body to function? Anyone? Except my group head. What's she give me every time? Yeah. How we perform? The pindas. True. For the 10 days you shall offer pindas. Right? In Garuda Puran, in chapter 1, hear what he says. He says here, for 10 days the sun should offer a rice ball. Each day, these pindas are divided into 4 portions. And that's why when I tell you to offer the pinda, offer Tilanjali, you cut the pinda into 4. Why? And I know it's not a common practice, but I make sure whenever I conduct the Antishti, Samskara I explain. It is said here from Garu Puran, it is divided into 4 portions. 2 portions gives nourishment to the 5 elements of the body, and the 3rd goes to the messenger of Yamraj, and then the 4th, the Atma lives upon the 4th. That's why it is divided into 4 portions. But before, if you remember, from those who came, from back home, the day when you go to offer, they pick up the ashes. On that day, there's offer 2 pindas. Do you know you take a pinda also to the cremation site? Yeah? Do you know why? When you pick up the ashes and you make that offering, Garu Puran says, when you get burned from fire, little dear, if you get, how does it feel? How does it feel? You ever cook and touch your hand with a pot? Come on, all of you get burned already. Or sit down and cook burn every time you cook it every day. It is said that fire is the most destructive element, devotees. And the fire that the body was placed into and burned to bring peace upon the 5 elements, that pinda has been offered when you go back to take up the ashes. Shri Garu Puran tells us. So we stepped on and move on by offering the pindas every day. And here it is said from Shri chapter 1, it is said for 9 days the Atma partakes of the Tilanjali and the rice bowl. It is said here, devotees, which acquire strength on the 10th day. The old body is being cremated and new body is being formed by the offerings of the pinda. So the Atma was big as a thumb. How big of body the Atma receives after? After the Tamama. So the Atma receives a body when we perform the Dasgrat. 10 days. Das means 10. So when we perform the Dasgrat ceremony, that is when the Mahapat will come and perform. But the 10 pindas is called impure pindas. We are not going to calculate and use these pindas when we check in this after the Bandara. The 10 days is what you call impure pindas. And that is when you are offering, because the first pinda forms the head, the second the eye, the nose, the mouth, and those 10 pindas put together forms a body for the Atma to use. So Mamaji, from a thumb, the Atma receives a body big as a? When you put the ball together, how big a body? Big as a fist. And so devotees, you return and offer again the shares of food. And so we move on, performing the Madhyam Shodashi. What's the Madhyam Shodashi now? The Madhyam Shodashi is the 12 days or 13 days. On that day, we'll perform the same Shraddha. But on that day, we offer more pindas. And the sub-pinda karana pinda is called Pita, Prapita, Vidra Prapita. So what would have happened on that day? You would have been worshipping the pindas, the deities, and also calling onto Sherry's grand, great, and great-great-grand. Pita mehi, Prapita mehi, and Vidra Prapita mehi. It is also explained in Sri Garu Puran, on that day of the ceremony, the son would have taken his mother pinda and cut it into 3. So this sub pinda karana is 4 pindas: Sherry, grand, great, and great-great-grand. On that day, the pinda would have cut into 3 pieces and merged with the other 3 pindas. So it is said, it is in completion of it, it is the beginning of the status of becoming a pit tree at the end of the year's journey. So, explanation, it is said that when you merge cherries from 4 pindas, how much you think you will end up with? I had 4 pindars. I split one into 3 and merged it with the other. How much we end up with? 3. You know what happens to Sherry pindars on the day of the dust? Madam Shudashi? It disappears. You know why? It means she becomes a plate. The beginning of her journey becoming a picture at the end of the year's journey. She comes out of the ghost life form then. It is said for those who don't perform the Daskara, the Atma can just become roaming all times. And then after that, it is said, devotees, when you complete that ceremony, you'll offer Tilanjali and the Kushgras onto the pindars. And you know what the pindar, you simply holding the pindar and say, Prabhu, if my mother is to return back in this earthly plane, please, in the same way rain falls and blossom nature, it is said that I ask of you, my Lord, if my mother is to receive this body, may she not born deformed, handicapped. May she be born with a blessed body or opportunity. And that is why we put the pindars and touch it to the head and the eye and nose and touch each part of the body. And so it is said, devotees, we perform this ceremony to help that Atma to travel. So the Atma becomes a traveler, devotees. That is what it becomes. So you see how important these ceremonies are. And after that ceremony, what do we do? After the pandara outside, what do we do? Eat food? Are you thinking about food, boy? You perform the Gita Dan. The Gita and their gifts have been identified in Guru Puran. And you perform the Gita, why, Dani? Because for the last days you are suspended worshipping Ganesh. That's why in a funeral we don't start with Ganesh mantras. For a funeral we don't sing Hanuman Chalis and all these things, because we suspend these deities. We concentrate upon the pitris and ancestors. So the Atma becomes a traveler, devotees. And when you become a traveler, then if you're going abroad, what do you do? A ticket. Yeah. But right now, Dan, what you're doing in your life is buying a ticket right now. Everything we do, right? If we have to go away, what you do? Dan? Other than buy a ticket? Good, you're right. You pack your bag, right? So you become a traveler.
If you have no money, you're going to pack the bag.
My point is, Danny, is that what happens in Atma becomes a traveler. And you all have done sitting and giving certain gifts. Why? Because these gifts helps the Atma while the Atma is traveling. That's a beautiful song. Zoka hava pani kare, zoka hava pani kare, आदमी मुसाफिर है, आता नहीं जाता है, आते जाते रस्ते आगे क्यों डर जाता, आदमी मुसाफिर है, आता नहीं जाता है, आते जाते रस्ते the Atma becomes a traveler devotees. And that is why the day of the Gita, you offer a slipper that gives the Atma a horse to ride. It is said when you offer the pillows or the sheets, gives the Atma a place to rest. You offer umbrella that grants the Atma shelter. You offer a kamandal or cup that grants the Atma water to quench thirst. It is said, devotees, you offer 7 grains. It is said so that when the Yamduts, who is the Yamduts? The messenger of Ramraj, they will have a feast. What does it mean, La Bandara? Beautiful. Yeah, and so it's a said, devotees. And then also too, you offer a plot of land. Danny, we will do the boy.
Pick up some dirt again.
No, I tell you, I want to come up here and inform to you, man. What is the equivalent of a plot of land, devotees? Gobar? What is the equivalent of plot of land Corporan speaks about? A heifer. When you don't carry the heifer, it's equivalent of a plot of land. That's why people don't go poacher. So that's why it's said, devotees. But Danny, if you have nothing to offer, you know what is most important? The Gita and a piece of gold. Do you know why you offer gold? The Atma never goes through the hells. Because there's just one hell, but there are different hells. But the Atma goes straight to heaven and waits for a period of time. They will stay there for a time and then reach Paramatma. When you offer gold on behalf of the Atma. That's what you call Sona. And when you offer the Gita, I'll tell you something. If you have nothing to offer to the Lord Krishna, nothing to offer on behalf of the Atma, simply offer the Gita that represents everything. Give a tulsi plant. And that's why long ago, and even I will tell devotees, well, as you get older, whenever your Pundit comes to do puja, buy a tulsi plant and give the Pundit. It's a whole practice. As you get older, when you're doing your chandi, you're doing puja boom, let the Pundit offer Gita and give the Pundit a Gita. Prepare yourself, devotees. Then I can give you the much time. I'll come and look at it, Hello. Please. It's okay. Thank you so much. You know what? Being here having me this afternoon is more important. Thank you. You know, I always say money cannot buy friendship, you know. And you know, these are the times that we really need one another's support. And we are really happy to be with you and your family, to bring comfort to you all. And it's a very difficult time. I have lost my mother at the age of when she was 45 also. I know what it feels like, you know. So it's not something, you know, it's not an easy task, even, especially for the kids, you know, and for you also. But I know as time goes on, you know, people say time does heal, but I still believe sometimes. Because memories will always be there. And may Bhagwan bless you all to continue the journey of life and Atma to return to Paramatma. However, it is said, devotees, as I'm coming closer to the end of my discourse this afternoon, these gifts have been identified in Guru Puran for the welfare of the Atma. Who do you think benefits from the gifts and the offerings? Who? Guru Puran says the person who holds these gifts and offer on behalf of the departed, even at the time of death for you, you'll be blessed. You are more fortunate to hold these gifts and make offerings on the pictures. That is why I often explain, there is more merits and more blessing when you can perform a pitri puja than a regular puja in your home. Honor your ancestors, there's more blessings and merits in that than a puja in your home. So, it is said, devotees. And do we know how much miles the Atma traveled per day and night? Chapter 1 Guru Puran explains. The extent width to Yamraj measures 86,000 yojana.
It takes 248 yojana each day for the departed to travel, going by day and night. Our yojana is equivalent to 8 to 9 miles, so let's use 9 miles. So it takes 247 miles per day and night. Multiply by 9. Averagely gives 348. It gives. Sorry, it takes 2,223 miles, sorry. So it takes 2,223 miles per day and night the Atma travel. If you divide the 86,000 yojana the Atma takes to reach the rim by 247 per day, it gives 348. Of the 365 days, if you minus the 348 days, balance 17 days. And that's why when we perform the Uttam Shadashi, which is the 1 year, we perform it 11 and a half months, not 12 months. Samjay? Get hard to understand? Again, a question is asked. Why do we finish 12 o'clock hour now? Have you ever heard it? You ever heard of this question, Danny? Why we finish at 12 o'clock? If I'm to ask a question, the Guru Puran says, other than Krishna and Vishnu, who receives everything firstly? The sun, Sujnai Devata. It is said, devotees, Guru Puran never tells us that we have to finish for 12 o'clock. But because the sun sets the highest at the 12 o'clock hour and is the most hottest time of the day, it is very auspicious that when you offer everything, Sujnai Devata receives everything and then gives it to the deities. So these are questions in our minds. We are seeing things that we are doing, but we have to understand where it comes from, where it stems from, and the importance of devotees. Like I saw many times people say, Papa, you can take and wash this sindoor off and you know, Guru Puran never says you have to wash the sindoor off. Tell me how you can wash your love out. There's no part of our Guru Puran says that you have to wash the sindoor off. If you like, just take the sindoor and put it in a box. I see people taking the ashes and washing all the sindoor backwards. This is never recommended, devotees. These are tradition things. I saw people used to put a flower in front of the house and they say whatever walks over it, that's what the person got born as. Sure you all know that. I saw back in Trinidad they used to take the share food and a new pot and a spoon and carry it in the cane field and come back with a flambeau. I say what is the purpose for that? They say that's for the Atma. The Gita said the Atma is imperishable. The Atma is formless at that time. I said long ago didn't have electricity, so we used to come back with a flambeau. That's the reason why. Because they made everybody took the... Long ago they used to take all the pictures and turn it down, upside down in the house, and take all the curtains down. Some of them say don't clean the house till after everything done. Just remember the day of the Krishna Gita, that's Krishna puja you're doing. Clean your house. Prepare as Krishna. Your people say that, you know, there's a question is asked, we try to remember the questions that people have asked. Why don't take the food out of the house for the 10 days? Because we are not worshipping Anamata or the Devata that blesses the food. So that is why the food is not blessed to really come out of the house. It is not that the house is chutiya or the house is dirty. Because if it's dirty, then Danny, I can't come and sit down and read Ramayana in your house. It is because it's not blessed with the deity of food. That's why we say Brahma, Padam Brahma, Havir, Brahma, Garan. We don't use those mantras to bless the food. So that's why it's not auspicious to take out of the house. So these are things that we see, we do, and we don't really understand why, devotees. And the first thing Guru Puran says, son,
When a mother or father passed away, what's the first thing you're supposed to do, son? Do you know what? Shave your head and leave your throat. You know why? But the Guru Puran says, if you don't shave your head, don't ever consider yourself to be a son. That's the first act a child or a son is supposed to do when a mother or father passed away. I'm sorry, I'm not giving in. You have to do, if we follow our dharma, do what is right, devotees. Don't let people tell you you can do a shorthand. There's only one way, and that one way is the right way. Do not start practicing the wrong things. Because I'll tell you something. It is not the departed going to suffer. Now you know who's going to suffer? It is the living. For the Pitri part, I did an Antishti Samskar Bhandara. They did the funeral, they didn't do Bhandara, they didn't do Daskrat, and the devotees couldn't sleep in their own house. And I had to go and do a complete ceremony back with the Pindas. So you see, devotees, what we do for ourselves. What we do, it is to help the Atma. The Atma benefits. But remember, it is we who have to give account for our actions and what we have done with the opportunity God has given to us. So like I said, the Atma probably already merged the Paramatma, but none of us knows that. And that is why these, and do you know what is important presently, Danny, what you all are doing presently, or what's supposed to be done presently after the Bhandara? So just to extend, I want to just go a little further. There's something called the Uttam Shadashi. The Uttam Shadashi means the 1 year. We just calculate 316 pindas. Not the 10 days, because I said that's impure. First 16, some people do 5.5 months, which is, and the last, which is Uttam Shadashi 1 year. Guru Puran again says, Kata, that when you offer 316 adds up to 48 pindas. It is only when we offer the 48 pindas, then the Atma merges with her and his forefathers. Again, it is said in Guru Puran, if you deprive of it, then it still remains as a Preta ghost. That is why, straight to the Uttam. So after the body, how big a body think she's going to receive for the Uttam Shadashi now? Big as an arm now. And the 1 year puja, which is called the Uttam Shadashi, the Atma receives the body big as a child. That is the completion of the ceremony. Straight to the Antishti Samskar, straight down to the Uttam Shadashi. And that is why, and this is written in our text, devotees, so that we can follow, we can do what is necessary. But like I said, devotees, not everybody follows. But Mahadashrat, when he passed away, if the Ramayana and Goswami Tulsidas tells us in tonight's Katha that Bharat have conducted this for his father, the Guru Puran was written and explains in the Gita, then why we disapprove of it? Why today we are trying to practice and write our own books and say, where is our dharma going to lead up to devotees? Where is our children going to follow? What dharma they going to follow devotees? If we teach them the wrong things, if we teach them doing the wrong things from now, remember devotees, we all have one day to go return home. So we have to guide the children, we have to teach them the right things to get done, devotees, so that when the day reaches, devotees, our children can continue uplifting our dharma, devotees. So presently, devotees, the last thing to conclude today's beautiful service, what's supposed to be done presently is you're supposed to give the Atma a pinda every month. Because the Atma, Guru Puran again says, the Atma becomes a traveler. And while the Atma is traveling, there is one day given to us every month for the Atma to merge with us. Which day is that? New moon, which is called the Amavasya day. So every new moon, a kush grass supposed to be nutted, Tilanjali is supposed to be offered. On top of it, and also a pinda supposed to be given on behalf of the Atma. I heard people and I heard some leaders say that they don't have to. I'm so sorry. But just remember, devotees, whatever you do for yourself. And yes, like I said, we have the ability to clear our own karma. No one's karma, but our own karma, devotees. So do what is necessary and do what is important, devotees. So this brings me to the end of my kata. Please, if I had made any mistake, please forgive me. If there's any questions in your mind, please don't hesitate to ask. Because definitely I would love to bring peace into the minds. Because sometimes, like I said, we do things and we don't understand. And it's not nice to do things and there is no understanding. I always say, devotees, if you cannot understand what you're doing, better you do it. बनवारी मुरली गारे गोपर धन गिरवर रारे नित नित का पाकन छोरे गोपी बनवारी आओ रे खाना रे गोकुल के प्यारे भगवान कृष्ण beloved somebody text me yesterday and Papa they had asked of this song to be rendered as Papa remembers Sherry. It was a bit difficult, but we all know what she was going through, and may Lord Krishna bless her Atma. May Bhagwan Krishna bless you all and grant you all our comfort. Hare Sundar Nanda Mukunda Hare Narayan Hare Hare Sundar Nanda Mukunda Narayan Hare Hare This brings me to the end of my katha tonight, devotees. May Bhagwan Krishna bless the Atma of our beloved mother of this home. I hope that whatever was mentioned tonight can bring a bit of solace and peace in our minds. And there are many times we do perform this Antishti Sanskar devotees and never really understand the importance and what is important, devotees. Rather we do things and we do it for doing sake, and it was said to be done, devotees. But in Ramayana tonight, Bharat have conducted, and there are no tongues could tell the tales. The way he conducted Mahadashrath funeral, devotees, was Antishti Sanskar. But love and devotion is most important, devotees. Sometimes if you are not sure what you're doing, do it from your heart, and that's most important. It is not how much we offer to Bhagwan, but it's how we offer it to him, devotees. My final bhajan. Let us all pray at this time also. We pray for the Atma of our beloved Sherry. Hey Prabhu, please accept our humble prayer. Whatever was done before and presently, please accept it. Whatever we did not perform, my Lord, please forgive us. But may our prayer and whatever little we have offered, may that Atma able to receive it through your lotus like feet, Prabhu. Please have that Atma return to Param Atma. May you please bless the beautiful family, the beloved husband, children and parents, friends and family. Bless them and give us the strength that we can continue the journey of life. Bring peace and solace in our minds and thoughts, my Lord. That one day we too will have to return and leave this earthly plane, my Lord. But while we live here, please help us. And help us through this difficult time with this beautiful family. We pray and ask that the Atma to attain liberation. Om Manadi Nidana Deva Shankar Chakra Akshaya Pundaraki Kaksha Prita Moksha Pradopa Jab Chada Tarapar Andiyana Jai Jai Jai
शांति विश्व शांति ब्रह्म शांति सर्व शांति शांति देव शांति काम शांति विश्व शांति आद्य तुमां सर्वमया नाम समाजोतम मित्रमा अमृतम रमया भगवान कृष्ण sharing in his house, his home. May भगवान कृष्ण एक आत्मा को beloved body. May she be the child of Arjuna. My Lord, we surrender to you.
On behalf of the Singh family, we'd like to say a special thanks to each and every one of you all for being here tonight, and not just tonight, for the time they have lost a wife, a mother, a daughter of this home. Thank you all so much for those who are here and those who unfortunately can't be here tonight but was there before. This family would like to say a special thanks to you all for your great support. To all our pundits and all who have came out, we say a special thanks to them for the words of comfort and their love. May Bhagwan Krishna bless you all now and forever. Danny, thank you Bhaiya, thank you for having us tonight. Thank you for inviting us and having you at your beautiful home. Sherry is not with us, but she's in our memories, in our hearts. To your children, I want you to know we're here for your son. We want you to know that we're right at your side whenever you call on to us. Sometimes it might be a bit difficult because of duties upon it. Even that day I could not be there. It hurt me to know I could not be there, but I have funeral myself on that day. But may Bhagwan Krishna bless her Atma, and we want you all to know we're all here for you all. It's not the end of life is just the beginning, even for Sherry and for you all. May her memories be in your hearts and continue living your lives, continue the journey of life. Till one day we also return to Bhagwan Krishna and meet with her. May Bhagwan Krishna bless each and everyone. To our beloved father and mother, and it's a bit difficult in this time when we have to cremate our children. Our common practice is that when children will do cremation and Antishi Sanskar for parents. But in today's society we are seeing where parents have been doing the Antishi Sanskar for children. So, and it's a bit difficult. May Bhagwan Krishna bring solace and peace in your minds. And Sherry will always be with you all now and forever. Once again, a special thanks. And may your peace return safely to your respectful homes now and forever. Special thanks to Pundit Avinash, to my eldest son also, Bhaviji. Thank you so much for always being with me. Thank you all so much. Bhavi, all of you all, thank you so much. God's blessing. Ram Nam. Ram Nam. Ram Nam. Hey, sab lagate sab koi. Jai Jai.
Someday I'll see you again. Someday it will never end. 'Cause this feeling inside of me makes me laugh, makes me cry, makes me happy. Oh, I wanna be there forever. Oh, I wanna be there forever. Ah, chal ke tujhe la 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 la, ek aise gagan ke chale, yahan hum bhi na ho, आंसू भी न हो, बस प्यार ही छा